No. Just press record. It's fine.
That beat was making me feel funky and paranoid. This is the You Stole It All, Give It Back podcast. I am Fifi Patterson. I am here once again with
Nick. It's Nick.
So,
and that was Lollipuna, right?
Yes, it was. Scary World Theory from the album 50 Faces Of is the song. So
no,
I usually don't name the song, so that sort of ruined it. But whatever.
No, it's fine. I don't think it. But wouldn't they want to hear it? Wouldn't they want to know?
I don't want them to know.
What's the hidden agenda?
Well, because I did a lot of digging to get to the point that I got to Lollipuna. What, I'm just going to give it up willy-nilly? It's ridiculous.
I thought we were trying to educate.
Yeah, usually, but in this particular moment, I don't
this
feel
moment?
that. Yeah. I guess it's the bitterness because of all the terrible things happening in the world. And I wonder what's causing that. I think the Last Poets can tell us why. What's going on, Last Poets?
Was the white man's got a God complex, Mr. Scam.
That
Bringing the
right.
heat every time. My God.
Yeah, Last Poets.
You think that white devils are born or are they raised?
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right?
I
they
think it's
seem
both.
to be getting younger.
I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Situational,
I think it's both.
right?
Yeah, I think it happened either way.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, stuff. if you're born to a billionaire, if you're one of the Koch brothers and like all their children, they're just white devils.
Yeah, in general.
The only thing they could do is try their best to be nice despite that, but it will always be their underlying nature.
Yeah, there was that one guy who did the documentary called 1%. So I guess he was attempting. Yeah. He was making an attempt to break the mold, I think.
Yeah, but I think I looked him up once. He didn't get there. He pretty much went, he went with it.
Yeah, you think?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta look it up. It was. He did that. Yeah, he did the 1%, and he did. I forget the one that has the Trump kid in it, and yeah, he was from the Johnson family, and
right.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, he's still a white devil.
Damn.
Sorry, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. He did try, but I guess he can only try for so long without them getting to him eventually.
Because even in the documentary, his father made a documentary when he was young about poor people in Africa getting taken advantage of by corporations. But he ended up just shutting up and taking the money and just, wearing country club clothes and,
Oof. looking like an LL Bean magazine.
All right, we went really down the rabbit hole with this. Yeah.
I feel like we began off the rails.
Yeah. All right, so
let's
what
get back
album
on track.
are we doing? What album are we doing?
Okay. We did Clinic. The album is called Internal Wrangler. Their first album.
Yep.
Their first album. Now, you saw them live when you they opened for Radiohead when you went to Europe. Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, the first time I saw Radiohead, they were the opener. I walked in like when they were almost done. They were doing Return of Evil Bill. They weren't wearing the because later on they I think at the time they would sporadically wear like nursing scrubs.
With masks.
Like the mask, yeah, with the mask on their face, and they would switch instruments. But I don't think they were doing that for this one. They were just wearing regular clothes.
So you walked in on Evil Bill. I'm assuming you missed then their opener, which is Voodoo Wop.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the opener was, but yeah, I think they pretty much just finished up Evil Bill, and then they were done.
Okay, so the whole album, did they play it live, or was it? Did they play the whole album?
I don't know. I just walked in for Evil Bill, and then that was it.
So so they definitely didn't. They just did a maybe a few tracks, right?
Yeah, they probably. I mean, I'm assuming they did like a 20 half-hour set. But I remember I went there, and it was like I was in Germany, and I didn't know what the protocol was, and a lot of people seemed to be standing outside, so I was standing outside, and it was. And then I finally was like, all right, I got to go in. I don't know what the hell these people are doing. Maybe they're not even going to the concert.
And
at the time, I was so into Radiohead, and I was like so just like foaming at the mouth to see them for the first time that I thought it was interesting, but I really couldn't give too much thought to Clinic at the time.
Okay. So okay, when you first heard them, you didn't have like a big opinion on them, but you went back, right, and got the album.
Yeah, I remember I had a hard time finding the album, and then I finally got it, and it was very much like it was totally everything I wanted it to be.
Which was what? Which was it? Since when at the time when you saw Radiohead, was it what? It was Kid A. It was that time.
Yeah, it was like right before Kid A came out.
Right before, so the stuff they were doing live was Kid A material.
Yeah. It was like 3 months before Kid A came out.
So I mean, they definitely liked Clinic. Radiohead liked Clinic, and I remember reading something that Tom York said, positive about the album Internal Wrangler. Do you think it's Kid A-ish in its setup or vibe? Or are there any similarities you see?
I mean, maybe on the slow songs. I mean, definitely there's a similarity, I think, in like sort of weird time signatures. Like, I think the songs are structured in their own way. But so, yeah, kind of like structural elements, I think, are similar, but I don't think the sound is that similar.
Right. Not the sound, but maybe like going from one song to the next and each sound is totally different. Maybe something like that, because like DJ Shangri-La into the song's second line into CK, like they all sound way different.
Yeah.
So do you, and Kid A also has, like they link all the songs together really well, and it tells a story kind of like this. I guess that's what I meant. And it's just all different parts of the album story.
Oh, you think Internal Wrangler tells a story?
I don't know. I feel like it comes together perfectly. I didn't think about it too much, but there's I don't know. They strung together different vibes pretty well, and that's not always an easy thing without like it being too jarring. So maybe not a story, but it's just they were able to accomplish a number of different things on the album, and it all sounded cohesive.
Yeah, I always thought of it as sort of like, and I thought of it more listening to it the past couple of weeks of like it's just sort of like a demented garage rock album.
Okay, right.
Like
so that's a good way of putting it. What do you think about their energy in general?
I mean, it's I like it. It's very spontaneous, which sort of like when I kept listening to it over and over, that was sort of like a negative to it, that it sort of ruined, not ruined, but I think it's better when you sort of like listen to it every once in a while, because you could sort of get into the spontaneity of it, as opposed to when you're listening to it over and over, you sort of know everything that's coming next, and it seems less weird. And I think one of the things that's really good about this album is just how weird it is.
Do you think part of the reason for that is they'll bring in these sounds that aren't really musical instruments, but it'll be part of the landscape of each song, like ocean, like waves crashing in the ocean is part of one of the, I think, second line. And they have like the bees and can you play Voodoo Wop?
All right.
Do you have that synced up? Because the bees add this crazy momentum in this song. And this is how the album starts.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much, anything can happen once you hear this.
That's so cool.
Oh, so you think that's bees? You think that's bees at the end?
Yeah, you don't hear the.
Yeah.
It's bees. What else is it?
No, it sounds like a guy like with holding his hand over his mouth.
Yeah, all right. Maybe he did do that, but it's supposed to be bees or some kind of insect, right? Like it definitely gives me the feeling that someone is just running for their life through a jungle, and like bees just came out of nowhere, and he's just trying to like swat them away or something. I don't know. You don't see that?
No, I didn't get the image of the man running from killer bees and swatting him away at the beginning of the album.
Definitely killer bees.
I mean, it's an interesting image. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad it starts off so high stakes for you.
Yeah. Oh man, no, they set it off, and then it's anything goes after that. Like they're starting it off at a 10. They can only fall off after that.
And also, like, that's Voodoo Wop. Like, that's a song I put on like a lot of mixes. Like, it's just a really cool minute and 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, all the songs are really short. They always leave you wanting more, which, I always like that quality in an album.
Yeah, there's definitely like right. When we reviewed, what was that album? Bleached. When we reviewed them, it's kind of the same thing where like we didn't feel that any of the songs ran too long. It was just, all right, you gave us the exact right amount of time on that, and we didn't get tired of it. And then it's just right on to the next one perfectly.
Yeah. That'd be a good concert, Bleached and Clinic at the same time.
Oh hell yeah. And they are a lot different. Like I feel like Clinic has a much more just like bouncy kind of rhythm, and it's not
Yeah.
necessarily all in on the singer. Like, because I don't know what he's saying. Do you get? I've gotten a few lyrics out of it, but not that many. Like some of the songs, I feel like he may not even be
Well, like I mean,
speaking
there's
English.
some songs like Distortion is very clear what he's saying during that. Um, I mean, Evil Bill, it's pretty clear what he's saying during that.
And I caught that one line in Internal Wrangler where he said, "What was it? These vegetables are served as obstacles."
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That
that's
was
a good lyric.
amazing. I had to rewind that the first time I heard that.
Yeah.
What do you
I,
think of the sound of his vocals? Like his voice
I mean,
and his rhythm?
think it's cool. It sort of reminded me because I remember at the time, you know, they were they opened for Radiohead, and also Sigur Rós was opening for Radiohead, and I remember I had a hard time getting both of their albums, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is like I thought wrongly that there's gonna be like a thing of like singers where like you can't really understand what they're saying, which I mean I really liked, but so yeah. And with Clinic, it was sort of. I mean, I thought it was cool because it's sort of it like was a whole range of completely not knowing what they're saying to it being very clear, and I like they sort of went along that whole spectrum on this album. They
True.
sort of de-emphasized that later, but on this album, they really went the whole spectrum with it.
Right. Um, so what's your overall opinion on this album? Like, not as far as like being great, but is it just a like it came at the perfect time and it kind of just molded? What if it came along now,
Yeah,
2019?
I mean, I think it'd be. I mean, I think it'd be fine. I mean, I think it's a pretty timeless album. I mean, I think the energy works. It's very. I mean, I just like that it's very idiosyncratic. It's very much like four guys in a room, like making a particular sound and having a particular thing that they figured out. Um, I mean,
Do you
yeah,
think they
I
got
don't know.
away from that, from like whatever formula they had? Do you think they got away from it in other albums?
Yeah, they never. I mean, I didn't totally keep up with them. I mean, as it went along, yeah, it was a little more polished, a little more. Yeah, it wasn't as like crazy and weird. I mean,
They
I
still
should
had
maybe
good
read.
songs, though. I feel like there was some real good ones in "Walking with Thee."
Yeah,
Um,
Walking with These still a really good album. And I don't know. After that, it sort of became spotty
yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
what you were getting. And then I think the last one or two, I don't even know if I listened to, which I feel bad saying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I did either. I fell off. I think after "Walking with Thee."
Yeah, I know. I think their last album, they had like a remix of the album, and I was like, somebody remixed the whole album. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, but then I never actually got it or listened to it.
Right.
Tragic, just tragic.
Tragic. So do you have a favorite song on this?
Uh, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I really like Distortions. I really like Goodnight Georgie. I mean, the second line might be my favorite one. I mean, it's
So,
probably yeah between the second line and Distortions. Also, Earth Angel's really high up there.
but
But yeah,
it's crazy because the level doesn't really, like, if you were to rank it out of 10, I would have to get into decimals because a lot of these songs are so close in like that level. It's like 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, like just kind of hovering there, and like there's no song that really stands that much above of the rest to me.
oh really? I mean, yeah. I don't think there's any bad songs on here. Like,
No,
there's
that's what I'm
no.
saying. Like they're all really good, but there's not one that separates itself. You know, like Return of Evil Bill is good, Internal Wrangler's good, Second Line is good. I like CQ. I like, I even like Goodnight Georgie. Everything's really good. It's just it's either like 8.6 or it's 8.3.
Well, I think the second line, I remember it working. Did you ever watch 120 Minutes on MTV?
120 minutes. No, what's that?
It was like this alternative show. It used to it would like premiere if like the new Sonic Youth video came out, it would premiere on 120 Minutes. It was on at midnight on Sunday nights. And then they sort of like revamped the show in like the early 2000s, and like the theme for the show, like the opener and also like coming back from commercial was the second line.
Oh, okay.
So
that's good. Yeah, I was gonna say like second line does seem like the song I would see in commercials, like some car commercial or something.
Yeah,
and maybe.
It would definitely be like the best introductory song to play to somebody.
Yeah. And then just jump right into Return of Evil Bill and Internal Wrangler. That 1, 2, 3, the way it starts is really damn cool. Like Voodoo Wop into Return of Evil Bill, into Internal Wrangler. Like that's just a cool energy.
Yeah, and DJ Shangri-La is awesome.
Yeah. And then right into second line, like it starts off fucking good. It's a strong start of an album. What's your?
I just like the way like the rhythm, like the bass and the drums will have like some sort of bizarre rhythm, and just like the other that's like really solid, and then it just allows all the other instruments to just go bonkers, like as like how it's structured.
Yeah. So what do you think of this? You know how people say there's nothing new under the sun. Right.
What song is that from?
No. I'm just the saying. There's nothing new under the sun, right? You know how people say that.
I mean, I've seen people say it in movies. I don't think people say it in like real life.
Well, I mean, I've heard people say that about music. Like, oh, there's nothing new under the sun. Or as far as movies go, like any kind of media, there's no new ideas under the sun. You haven't heard people saying this?
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's like the Godard. I mean, it's sort of the same as the Godard quote that I like, which is, there are no new waves. There is only the ocean. It's the same thing.
Right. Okay. So do you agree with that? And do you feel like if you don't agree with it, did Internal Wrangler prove that?
I mean, I don't know if Internal Wrangler could just straight up prove it or disprove it, but I mean, your perspective is always changing. My
thing is like I feel like it's a BS statement. There's nothing new under the sun, because when did that happen? When like what year was everything done and there could be nothing new? Like was it the moment that a monkey hit like a stick against a rock and that was he created some rhythm, and then after that there's nothing new under sun? I think it's ridiculous. To me, this album sounds like nothing else.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, people only say that to justify not making the effort to sort of interpret and understand and take time with like new art or different art. And it's just easier to, just listen to the same shit they've always listened to or watch the same shit they've always watched. Even though for some reason I think people take much greater risks with like movies and TV shows than they do with music.
That's true. Maybe.
But I feel like somebody like pissed you off this week. Is this
me?
Did somebody say something to you?
No, I was just listening to the album, and I don't know why. I thought somebody has said that within the last couple months, but it wasn't like this week or anything. It was just like I heard that someone say that, and I just think
was it someone at the office?
Let's leave that alone. Leave that alone. I don't want to answer that. Listen, I just think it's a stupid statement. I don't feel like it makes any sense at all, because how what do you mean? Like I could just think of something tomorrow and it's the first time I create that thing, but what are you telling me, that someone else did that because there's similarities to other creations?
Yeah, and it's just a logic to negate it's just a logic to negate having to listen to and interpret and new things, and which, and just say that you don't want to make the effort rather than trying to justify it as like, oh, everything's the same. Like, that's bullshit.
Right.
Just say you don't have the time. Like, I could accept that easier.
Okay, so you're with me on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, good. I'm pretty. What do you think? Are we? Did we hit it? Did we hit Clinic Internal Wrangler from enough angles here?
I mean it's. I
There's
mean,
not
I
too
feel
much
like
else.
I feel like we didn't do it justice, but to anyone listening to this, it's a really good album, and you should definitely listen to it.
I mean, what's something else you might want to say that we didn't cover? I mean, his singing, like. Okay. Let's go over how he sounds. We didn't cover how he sounds really. You think he
we
sounds
talked about how he sounds? I compared him to the Sigur Rós. He's sort of like the punk version of Sigur Rós.
The punk version? Okay. All right, that's true. That's a good call. I feel like he sounds like he has his teeth clenched in some of the songs, like he's cold. Like he's in a studio and he was like, just turn all the heat off. I want to be cold for this song. And it's something about his voice that I'm like, he could crack. His voice could crack like a teenager at any moment, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, I just like his voice is sort of like a tuning fork almost for the song. Like he just sort of like manifests a song rather than trying to sort of like ride on top of it. Like his voice is just really like an element within it that you could sort of like that you could just listen to the same as like the bass of the guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like sing beatboxing to a certain extent. Like he's coming up with these rhythms, and it doesn't. He is singing, but it's to a real specific, like, it's almost like a drum rhythm. You know, the way that he hits his notes. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think we covered it.
Yeah.
Clinic, Internal Wrangler. On to the next subject, which is so when we reviewed 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
We started talking about Ghostface and basically how, he wasn't one of the standout members on their first album, but he definitely had the best career.
He ended
had
up
the best albums
being,
by far.
Yeah, he ended up being the best MC.
And so we both agreed that he had two classic albums, but we differ on one of them. So Supreme Clientele we agree with, right?
Yeah, Supreme Clientele is the best one, easily.
Yeah, and I heard some interview that he did where he was like he wished that was his first album.
Yeah,
That's how much he loves that album. But I thought that Iron Man is his other classic. You think Fish Scale is? So we went back and then
you
week.
You texted me like out of nowhere about this, so you really must have been thinking about it. So I was I didn't remember how I hadn't listened to Iron Man in a while, so I wasn't like too forceful about it. But I listened to it today, and I'm angry that you made me listen to it again. It's clearly not very good. It's like clearly. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's just,
okay. Give me reasons.
It's just bad. All the beats are the same formula. All the beats are very down tempo. It's the same, like, soul sample vocal chopped up in it, and all the beats are like, not rhythmic and not like it's the same flow on every song. It's just not good. It's just not good. I mean, obviously Daytona 500 is awesome, but other than that, it's not good.
So you're saying Daytona 500 is the only good song on that?
I mean, there were a couple other songs that were like okay, but overall the album was just like, it got to a point that I was just like getting halfway through the tracks and just skipping them. It was just like, enough of this.
All right. So you listened to Fish Scale also this week, right?
I listened to them both today. That was the only time I listened to both albums today. I mean, Fish Scale, I don't think it's a great album, but it has two great songs on it. It's got Shaky Dog and it's got Be Easy, and it's got like a bunch of other really solid songs. There's like a couple of like songs on it, but like overall, it's like an album that you could just totally play, and it's fun. And there's the tempo varies, and it's just a good album, as opposed to Iron Man, which is not.
Okay, so you think Iron Man is just straight up not a good album, not even good?
No, I listened to it and it's like, oh God, I am not listening to this again.
Okay, you're wrong. That is way more of a cohesive album than Fish Scale, like 100 times. Like each track flows perfectly into. You can listen to the whole album, not skip anything. You don't have to skip any tracks. Yeah, okay.
You're talking about like Iron Man?
This is Iron Man. Look, so you have some classic songs on this, and then you have songs that aren't classics, but it follows the original like solo album kind of formula where it's RZA production beats. And it's all in-house.
Yeah, he got gypped, okay, because there were all these albums coming out after 36 Chambers.
Yeah, this was the last one.
He clearly got the worst beats, like clearly.
I mean, listen, Winter Wars, that's a good beat. Fish, that's a good beat. On Winter Wars, Daytona 500, Motherless Child, All That I Got Is You is an award where, I mean, it's not one of my favorite songs, in all honesty. But
All That I Got Is You was, listen, it's I don't begrudge him. All That I Got Is You. That was just a cash grab.
Listen, girls like it. What am I gonna say?
Yeah, it was a good song to go with the video. The video, and it made you think about Ghostface Killah. It did what it needed to do, and I don't begrudge him that. But it's not a good song.
So here's the thing. Overall, Iron Man is a Wu-Tang album. Fish Scale is a Ghostface album. Like Iron Man, to me, it's a cohesive. Like none of the beats stink. There's some solid
there's
stuff.
Several beats stink.
What stinks?
On that album.
What beats?
I don't know. I wasn't even keeping up with it. It was
right.
just
all right. Well, listen.
Bad.
Listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why Iron Man. One reason why Iron Man's better, and it's a big reason, and that is Raekwon the Chef. 95, 96. Raekwon the Chef is all over this album. He saves this album. He's on damn near every track. He has his own track, Faster Blade. This is some, like, 95, 96 Raekwon is one of the best rappers, period. I'm not talking about after that.
All right, fine. But if the beat's not good, I'm not even getting to the rapper. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
There's
to me.
way more consistent beats. The skits bring the album together. On Fish Scale, you get a lot more, like, banging beats because it's different. You have Pete Rock, you have Just Blaze, you have all these different producers.
Yeah, it varies. It varies.
It varies.
Flows.
I know it's different. I know, but like the lows on Fish Scale are lower than the lows on Iron Man, whereas the highs on Iron Man may not be that high, but they're solid, and to me it's way more of a consistent album. I think it was a lot closer. Honestly, like I didn't think it was going to be close. That's possibly because I was just living with a little bit of nostalgia, and I thought Iron Man, was on a certain level, and it may have been a little less than I thought it was. In all honesty, but still, Fish Scale, like Ghostface got better. He was better on Fish Scale.
I feel like this ends in you telling me 3 months from now I'm right. I feel like that's how this ends.
No, because I didn't like it that much. I thought you don't have classic Raekwon on this, and to me that's really what separates it for me. And
Raekwon
also Capadonna was killing it. Capadonna was great on it. What'd you say?
There's Raekwon albums for that.
But this is an album with Raekwon. Why does it matter? Why does it have to be labeled the Raekwon album?
And Raekwon but Raekwon's on Kilo. Kilo's a really good song on the Fish Scale.
Yeah, but that's not 95, 96 Raekwon, and you know this.
All right, fine, but it's still a better album. It's not even close.
All right, so fine. We still don't agree. Listeners, what do you think, Fish Scale or Iron Man? Tell us, please, because we have to settle this somehow, or we don't. We'll just go on.
We're probably not going to settle it. Well, until like 3.5 months from now when you tell me I'm right.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, you're just not going to admit it as spite.
I really don't think it's better. Like it has the classic feel. Iron Man has the classic feel, and it has Raekwon at his best. At his best, I don't think rhythmically and linguistically anyone has that combination better.
I didn't even get to Raekwon. The beats were just like mundane. They were mundane.
Brutal.
They were not good beats. Ghostface got gypped.
I'm not saying he didn't. I still think it's a good album. It's a really good album.
It's
and
really
Fish Scale is good too. It's close. I just Raekwon to me. That's what separates it.
All right, I just hold on. Now I gotta pull Be Easy. Hold on.
That has I don't like the hook on that.
It's fun.
Oh, be easy, and also that other stupid interlude that he has where he's talking about he's trying to tell the woman on the street how to get to Hard Street, and he's saying, oh yeah, go down Balls Boulevard and then go on to
all right, I'm not defending the skits. Obviously it's a hip-hop skit,
but it's part of an album. It's part of an album. The skits were a million times better on Iron Man. It's part of the overall feel. I
don't care about the skits on I mean, to me the skits it only matters with the skits if you get to the point where it's a great album and then the skits become a thing. On hip hop albums, once it's like an average or okay album, the skits are just like whatever. Because all you're doing is listening to the tracks you really like on the album.
I mean, it's not a bad point, but I still feel that the skits are good enough on this that it strings everything together pretty cohesively.
I don't know. We're not going to agree on this. I really didn't like it. I was mad while I was listening to it. That's how bad it was.
God damn.
I was just like, how is this a debate? Like, is this guy serious right now?
I mean, I think it's pretty close. You think?
The only positive is that every time I go on like a record site and I see Iron Man, there's always part of me of like, oh, maybe I should get it and re-listen to it. And now that I've re-listened to it, I will definitely not make that purchase. So I guess you saved me money.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah, it is a positive.
All right. On to the next subject.
Yeah, we saw Annika. What did you think of her beats first of all? Because she was just pressing play basically. Yeah, but she did totally different beats than the ones on the album. They were really cool beats. She did a cover of White Rabbit, which I mean, you can tell the listeners I identified immediately.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, you told me, and I was like, "Yeah, it does sound familiar." Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, it was really good. She kept like walking into the crowd with the microphone. It then went off the rails towards the end. But what do you think of the beats?
I thought the beats were great. I like them better than the beats on the album, I think.
Yeah, it would almost be cool if she just did re-record the album with those beats and just
add the White Rabbit song.
Yeah.
And put some of those poems in there, like those, like she would walk into the middle of the crowd and then like veer off right, come back to the middle, veer off left, and she's just saying these really cool poems with like a beat in the back.
Yeah.
Not really looking at anyone specifically though. Like she's just walking, like looking at spots on the wall, pretty much.
Yeah. Although I feel like the poems were cool in the room, like we're all like experiencing it together. I don't know if they would totally translate onto a record. Like I think in the room, like feeling her vibe, like you could sort of go with it and be like, "Oh, this is cool." It might be a little over the top on an album.
Maybe. Yeah, you could be onto something. What would you think of her overall? Like, because we didn't know what to expect as far as seeing her live, what that's gonna be like.
Yeah, it was pretty close to what I was guessing. I mean, I thought she was really cool. I thought, I mean, she probably needs a bit more practice, and but I mean, I think she could get there, and she's really cool, and she got really cool songs. I mean, and those beats are really, really good. I mean, I just hope she keeps doing stuff, because it seemed like towards the end she got a little discouraged.
Yeah, or she just lost steam. She might have been tired.
Yeah, because the last couple songs were just like sort of not really popping like it was in the beginning, and then she did like a thing with an acoustic guitar, which it sort of became clear kind of quickly she doesn't maybe know how to play guitar totally.
I think she knows how, but in a limited way, and then I think she got nervous. And she just didn't. She decided not to really play the song how it should be played, because she was at first she switched from one chord to another, and then she like stayed in that one chord. I think she was scared to move on. It's just I think it's a thing of like she needs to practice doing it in front of people, or not. Like she may not like doing it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely, I don't know if this is like her first solo tour. I mean, she's definitely like figuring things out. But I mean, there's definitely she's definitely really talented. So there's definitely a place to get to. But she's definitely like trying to get somewhere.
She definitely benefit from having a band around her. Like to take the pressure off of the eyes on her, because it's just eyes on her. She's just up there pressing play and then speaking very intimate words, basically.
Yeah. Like even if she just had like one other person sort of just hitting buttons, it would sort of it might diffuse the tension. Because I get what you're saying. I'm like there was just like I don't know how many people were in the room, maybe like 150 people in the room, and so it's like just 150 eyeballs just like on her.
Yeah.
At least if there's like a guy, at least if there's somebody pressing buttons, it's just like there's. Like, you're just going to glance over at that person every once in a while.
Well, I mean, when I think she was doing,
her opener could be the one pressing the buttons.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, she did have a band at one point. I saw some live video from like, I don't know, 2013 around.
Well,
there.
yeah, she's in a band called Exploded View, which I don't know if they came around. I don't know. I should have seen them live. I should have listened to them more.
I like the song Orlando. That's a good one. By Exploded.
Yeah, I have the albums, but I don't know any of the names of any of the songs.
But I mean, I feel like she's only gonna get better if she wants to perform. Like if that's a thing she wants to do, then she'll keep doing it and she'll loosen up. Like she's a little tense in there. She's too tight, and it's only going to get better.
Well, I mean, she has to harness it because the music's tense, so it sort of works with her vibe. So,
but the beats were good enough to dance to. So I feel like she could at least moved her body a little, and that may have loosened her up. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there were people who I could see wanted to dance, like they would hear the beat and they were getting into it.
I mean, it was cool. I look forward to seeing Annika again. It definitely validated my Annika fandom of like, she's
your
really
top
good.
10, right? Top 10 albums.
Yeah.
That's what you said last.
I gotta do. Yeah, I should probably do
you gotta redo that.
Well, no, I should just like do top 10 albums and just see what my actual top 10 albums are, because I feel like I've said that's a top 10 album to like 30 albums. So
Right.
I don't know, but the last time I haven't done top 10 albums in probably like 10 years. It's like a whole thing of like I gotta be listening to records.
I mean, that's that's an almost impossible thing to do. There's way too many albums that you've listened to. How do you crush it down to just 10?
I don't know. Well, now it feels like I have to do it. So
that's the only way I get you to do things.
Yeah. So, all right.
I'm like, how's it humanly possible? How could a man do that? You're like, I'm gonna do that.
I'm that man. I have that much time to waste. All right. So you have a recommendation?
Yeah. I was gonna recommend Tommy Guerrero, but since we took an extra week to figure out what we were gonna do, I kept on. Like, one of the things that kept on in that kept coming up was this guy who does beats. He calls himself the Sound Defects, and he has an album called The Iron Horse, which is really good. And it's just beats. It's just rap beats, and it's a good. It's just a good whole album to listen to. I like this song called Takeout. I'm gonna play it here. I don't know if it's gonna come up. Can you even hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some interesting sounds that he does, and he breaks up the beat throughout enough to make it not boring, you know. It's good. It's good. What about you?
Yeah, I was gonna do the opposite of a recommendation. I wanted to just take this time to diss someone. I was watching the Tonight Show, and the 21 Savage was on, and I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what he's doing. Like, it looked like someone like just threw him up on stage and was like, "Yeah, go rap." It looked like he had never rapped before in his life. Like, I don't understand. It was weird because like he had like backup singers that were really good. Like, the instrumentation was good, and then he's up there just monotone, mumbling, sitting on a stool, like just doing nothing. Like, I don't get it.
What's the name of the song that he was doing?
Oh, I have no idea. I'll try and find it. I'll post it. But
what show was it on? You said
it was on the Tonight Show. Yeah, no, the Jimmy Fallon one.
Oh, okay.
So it was pretty bad.
I'm trying to see if I can.
All I could think about was like, I wish I had a time machine so that I could take like 20 people from like the early 90s and just be like, oh, here, I want to show you this. This guy's like a big rapper, and I just in 25 years from now, I just want to see what the reaction would be.
All right, I'm gonna play it because I just found it. Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, okay.
This is posted 3 days ago.
Oh, okay.
So let's see if you can hear it. Yeah, okay, he's sitting down.
He does get up at one point and then sits back down, which I thought was actually kind of interesting, which I actually gave him like some props for that.
I mean so he's yeah, that's all he's really doing. I mean, this is that mumble rap stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to listen to this anymore. It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trend is just being really untalented.
I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I just want to randomly diss him. And also he has a tattoo on his face, and I thought about this. I decided that the tattoo on the face now is like the hip hop equivalent of when guys used to have like Phillies behind their ear back in the day.
Really? Why?
I don't know that it makes. I don't know. It just was what I thought of.
But wait, you're saying a Philly, like a Philly blunt that they're gonna get ready to roll.
Yeah, like
right?
when when they used to like have it on their ear, the way some people have like cigarettes on their ear. It's just a totally random, accessory.
So okay, you're just saying like that is shit. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know that's I have trouble wrapping my head around that because a face tattoo is forever. I feel like you can kind of like that's a very temporary thing until you smoke the blunt, and then you don't have the Philly on the ear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the face, because the face tattoo is basically more signals like I'm never gonna have a legitimate job. So I guess it's sort of, I guess it's sort of like a higher, I guess it's sort of like a higher level of commitment because obviously you could just take the Philly, out from behind your ear.
Yeah, right, and just put a button down on.
But
I mean, honestly, whatever this guy, I've never listened to him before, but whatever I just almost heard. I mean, that's what the radio is. It's just these guys who just harmonize. It's not rapping really. It's just harmonizing. It's not singing. It's just and it's just whatever kind of beat that is gonna pop off in strip clubs. Like that's what is always played on the radio. That's why everything sounds the same. The trend is whatever they want it to be, and that's what's on the radio 24/7. So this sounds like nothing new, even though there's like a band behind him, who's talented.
Yeah, we'll post a video. The band is actually pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. So
yeah,
fuck mumble rap.
Yeah. I prefer other types of rap. Anyways, you want to do an album choice right now? We haven't gone that far over.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we gotta do like a new album. So we've done too many old albums.
Old ones.
Yeah.
How
so
new?
I mean, I was thinking I was gonna suggest the Earl Sweatshirt album.
Oof.
All right, so I guess that's a no.
No, it's not a no. It's just a tough one. Like, yeah, I gotta. We tried this before, and it's a tough thing to listen to. Like, I was able to listen to Internal Wrangler twice a day in the morning.
Well, do you want to do the? Well, you want to do the Tyler the Creator? Well, the Earl Sweatshirt album's like 25 minutes, so.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Earl the Sweatshirt it is.
Okay. All right. So Earl Sweatshirt, some rap songs. So there'll be more diatribes about old school versus new school hip hop.
Right. Even though he is kind of trying to keep old school alive to a certain extent. Like he's not 21 Savage.
No, he's not mobile rap. He's definitely got more to him than that. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of different layers and he's interesting.
Yeah, plus the amount of respect I give him for just that one song that he did when he was 15 is like pretty high.
Yeah, that was nuts with the video where their teeth are falling out.
Yeah, but the song is bananas.
The song is nuts.
Yeah.
His wordplay was just next level for a kid that age.
Yeah, it was like the greatest 15-year-old rapping ever.
Yep. Yeah, so. Yeah.
I mean,
very possible.
Biggie at 16 is probably pretty close too. So, but
yeah, I mean, but his voice is just incredible. We're talking about wordplay. That's about as good as I've ever heard.
And it was at the time. It was like so fucking original.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and Odd Future was just coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. I think that should wrap it up for the day, right?
All right, yeah, that is the You Stole It All, Give It Back podcast. I'm Fifi Potterson, and this is
Nick,
and we are out.